All right, so good evening to all of you. The first Muslim dynasty of North India is known to everybody as it was established by a very famous ruler Qutbuddin Aibak. But when we talk about the first Muslim dynasty in South India, then people get hesitated. Because historians are also divided whether the founder of this dynasty was really a Muslim or a Hindu. The Bahamani dynasty was founded in 1347 by a person whose name was Alauddin Hasan Gangu. Alauddin Hasan Gangu. So by the name itself is known to us that he should be a Muslim, a follower of Islam. But when you understand the thought given by the court poet of Bahamani Sultanate, whose name is Farista, a Persian poet, Farista. What he told about the Alauddin Hasan Gangu, that initially his name was not this Alauddin Hasan Gangu. Initially, this person used to work as a servant under a Brahmana whose name was Gangu, who was living in Delhi. And this suffix or this Gangu name is connected to that original Brahman under whose this person used to work. So Farista is saying that this person belongs to North India and is a Hindu. You can also get some hint the word Bahmana.
Brahma.
Yes, as it is very close to the word Brahmana. So Brahmana and Bahmana. This is also one of the logics to justify that this Alauddin Hasan Gangu originally used to be a Brahmana. At the same time, other historians are not agree with the thought given by Farista. They are saying that this person was from Afghan and he established the first Muslim dynasty in South India as an Bahmani Sultanate. By the way, it does not matter a lot for UPSC aspirant whether he was a Hindu or a Muslim. Majority of the historians are agree that he was a Afghan and established this Bahmani dynasty in South India. Before this 1947,
1347.
yes, 1347, it is not 1947. 1947, actually this date has been fixed into our DNA. So that's why. Before 1347, what was happening in this, the region of Bahmani is basically, look, this was the region of Vijayanagara and just connected to the, you can say, in the north of the Vijayanagara Empire, this portion was coming under the Bahamani. Basically, whether you talk about this region or that region, it was very much affected before 1347 by the Khilji dynasty, and after the Khilji, Muhammad bin Tughlaq also attacked here. You must be aware, Muhammad bin Tughlaq also established his capital in Daulatabad, which was very much connected with this Bahmani Empire. So this Muhammad bin Tughlaq looted a lot. The gold, diamond, as you know, Golconda is very famous for its diamond mines. So what happened that they looted a lot, and for those dynasties it was very difficult to establish an empire, because look, it is always easy to win some seats by the BJP than winning the whole state. So for these people, developing an empire, although they tried their level best, but it was little bit difficult. So they looted a lot, and what happened? A time came when they thought that why should we take unnecessary risk? Let's pack the bag and baggages, and they settled once again towards Delhi. But in the meantime, the people who came with Muhammad bin Tughlaq, they did not return to Delhi, and one of them was this Alauddin Hasan Gangu, and other people also there. They started fighting with each other, and they ruled over different areas. This Bahamani, if you talk technically, there are 5 places which collectively represent the Bahamani, and one of them is Barar, Bedar or Bidar, Bijapur, Golconda, and the last one is Ahmedabad.
Ahmednagar.
Yes, Ahmednagar. These 5 places collectively represent the territorial expansion of Bahmani Empire. Alauddin Hasan Gangu was the founder, and after Alauddin Hasan Gangu, a ruler comes whose name was Tajuddin Firoz Shah. Tajuddin Firoz Shah. And this ruler is known for many more developments. For instance, it also expanded the territory, the existing territory of that time of Bahmani. When he attacked over a Gond king whose name was Narsingh Rai. He was a Gond king, and he got a lots of gold, jewelry, silver, a lots of money from that Gond king Narsingh Rai. And not only he got the money, this Tajuddin Firoz Shah, he also married with one of the daughters of that Gond king Narsingh Rai. This Tajuddin Firoz Shah was very rich in art and culture. He has a good interest over the natural sciences, like he wrote the commentary over astronomy, he wrote the commentary over botany, he wrote the commentary over logic, and he also constructed one of the observatory, as he was very fond of astronomy, one observatory in Daulatabad. So apart from this, he was also fond of playing the musical instruments. And this Tajuddin Firoz Shah is believed one of the most incredible ruler of this Bahmani Sultanate. During this Tajuddin Firoz Shah, what happens that the impact of Brahmana community comes on the surface. And this Tajuddin Firoz Shah is known for other regions, but those are not very exam specific. That's why I am not discussing them. These three things which you need to keep in mind, which I have discussed. After Tajuddin Firoz Shah, the ruler which comes, his name was Ahmad Shah. But the Ahmad Shah was also known as Ahmad Shah Wali, because the word Wali represents to a saint in the Islam religion. You may have heard Wali Muhammad or something like this. So this Wali, why the Wali name is added with this Ahmad Shah? Because he was a great devotee of Gesudaras, Saint Gesudaras. That's why this Ahmad Shah also added the word Wali in his name. It was a sort of, you can say, in the memory of him, he added this Wali. After this Ahmad Shah, the ruler which comes, that is known as Humayun Shah. And this Humayun Shah is known for inviting, I would say, the most famous personality of the Bahamani Empire, other than their lineage, whose name was Mahmud Gawa. And this Mahmud Gawa, believe me, he changed the history, polity, economy, geography, and everything of this Bahamani Empire. This Mahmud Gawa was a 42 years old Persian merchant. He was also given the title the King of Merchants. But his talent was so that he came very close. Not he came very close. In fact, this Persian merchant Mahmud Gawa became the king or the sultan of this Bahamani dynasty. However, before Mahmud Gawa, this Humayun Shah had a son, but he was minor. So he was facing lots of difficulty to run the empire. That's why what happened, that this Mahmud Gawa started working as a wazir and started giving instructions how to rule the administration effectively. After this minor ruler Mahmud Gawa, he himself becomes the ruler, and he contributed a lot, not only in expanding the territory but in other fronts as well. In expanding the territory, you can take the example of Goa. If you remember, in our previous lecture, Vijayanagar Empire was being taught, and in this Vijayanagar Empire there was a ruler, his name was Harihar II. Harihar II was the ruler who had snatched the Goa from the Bahmanis. And when this Mahmud Gawa comes into power, he snatched the same Goa which had been snatched by the Harihar II of the Vijayanagar Empire. And Goa was very strategically important place because there was a port, and in that port the horses from Arab world used to come. So this kind of transaction was happening. Apart from this, the Goa was connected with the fertile land, so the crops, and in terms of minerals, that place was also very rich. So Goa was annexed, or you can say got back by the Bahmanis because of this talented person Mahmud Gawa. Apart from Goa, there was one more place that was known as Belgaum. This Mahmud Gawa fixed the cannons. As you know, Bahmanis were known for the gunpowder. They were the first ruler who brought gunpowder in India. So he used the gunpowder and with the help of the cannons and blew off the Belgaum. Belgaum used to be the part of this Bahmani empire. So a battle happens in Belgaum and he was very close to the success. But Goa was completely returned back into the territory of Bahmanis. After this Belgaum, what other things this Mahmud Gawa has done, that he divided the whole empire of the Bahmani. By the way, Bahmani's empire was not as big as the empire of Chandragupta Maurya or the Guptas, but whatever territory they had, he divided the whole empire into 8 tarafs. And every taraf was known, it was, you can say, a province. The whole empire was divided into provinces and each province was known as taraf. The head of every taraf was known as tarafdar. And in every taraf, there was a land that was known as Khalisa. And whatever revenue was being generated with the help of this Khalisa or from this Khalisa land, that revenue was directly going into the account of the Sultan. That was being used for the household related works and the work which was directly related to the Sultan. So these tarafdars, they did not have any kind of right over the land called Khalisa. So you can understand, not in terms of warfare, this Mahmud Gawa was ahead, but also in terms of this front, he worked a lot. Mahmud Gawa was the same person who invited a teacher from Persia who could teach how to use the gunpowder effectively in order to expand the empire. So, no matter how many things I would tell you in connection to the Mahmud Gawa, they will always be less. This was the role of this Mahmud Gawa. But what happens that this Mahmud Gawa, he was, last thing I want to tell about him, that he was also fond of the art and literature, because this Mahmud Gawa constructed one of the colleges in Bidar, and in that college was so famous that the scholars from Iran and Iraq used to come and used to adorn this college. But one was the problem during the time of Mahmud Gawa, and it happens very naturally. When Kejriwal became the chief minister, the people who were connected to him, they thought, oh, how can this person be the chief minister? I was equally competent. So during the time of Mahmud Gawa, as Mahmud Gawa was the outsider, so what happened that the nobles who used to live that time, the nobles were divided into 2 categories. The first category, in that one, the older nobles used to come. Older nobles means who belonged to the Bahmani itself. But in the other category of the nobles, those people were coming who were the newcomers, newly appointed one, new generation, you can say. And this Mahmud Gawa was belonging to the newcomers, as he did not have any root or lineage in India. So this Mahmud Gawa, what happens that the older nobles, they wanted to remove Mahmud Gawa somehow. Mahmud Gawa was thinking that okay, dispute is there, but we can solve this dispute with the help of discussion, dialogue, and debate. He was a very liberal sort of person. He never wanted to have animosity with anyone, especially with the nobles present at that time. But what happens that the older nobles, they were just hungry for the throne or to get some advantage, because what happens that one thing had been done by the Mahmud Gawa, that he had reduced the power of the nobles. Not because he really wanted to remove them, but he was thinking that if we are giving much power in the hands of these people, then in the near future the empire can be disintegrated. They may think to have their own separate legal identity, and it happens when it gets disintegrated. So his intention was not bad. Don't think he was an autocratic. So having all these things in the backdrop, what happens that these nobles, they went on a certain day to the king. King means the sultan, which was connected with the original this Tajauddin and this dynasty. He was not very old, and on that particular day he was in drunken stage, and these nobles, they told that this Hassan, this person, whatever he is doing with the empire, it is not right. And they showed a document. Through that document, they convinced to the sultan, the minor sultan, that he has committed a treachery, something against the nation. So he must be given the capital punishment, because he is not a good person. And as the minor sultan was in drunken stage, he was not in his condition to understand what is right and what is wrong. So he did not care to discuss this matter with the Mahmud Gawa, and next day he asked to his soldier and told them that you execute this person before me. And he was killed before the subjects. But when he was killed, that time Sultan realized his mistake, that I was provided the wrong information by these nobles, as these nobles had their vested interest. But you know, the things which come, an arrow which goes out of your bow, or the words which go out of your mouth, and the missed opportunity, they never come back. So he repented a lot. But he had died. So you can say the glory of the Vijayanagara, Bahamani Empire went along with the death of this person. And that's how this Bahamani Empire also comes to an end with the end of this Mahmud Gawa. And further, this dynasty gets divided into 5 parts. The one of them is Barar, Bidar, Bijapur, Golconda, and Ahmednagar. Bijapur. It was led by which dynasty? Adil Shahi. Adil Shahi dynasty. So Adil Shahi dynasty starts ruling Bijapur. Bidar was also ruled by a different dynasty. Barar and this Qutub Shahi dynasty, and this Nizam Shahi dynasty. So I want to discuss this Golconda. It was founded by,
Kutub.
yeah, but who is that Kutub? Because look, the rulers of this Golconda, you know, Adil Shah. Okay, but the founder was there are three rulers. Those are the most famous one. The one is Ibrahim Adil Shah. The second is Muhammad Adil Shah, and the third one is
Sikandar Adil Shah.
no. I think he is Yaqub Adil Shah, or his name starts from the word Y. Okay, I only remember the alphabet. I think anyway. So the founder was this one. You can check it. The founder was this person, and what happens that this Golconda is famous for its world's second biggest dome. Could you tell me who was that person who built this dome? Was the founder who built this dome, or was this Ibrahim? Or by the way, this person is Yusuf.
Yusuf Adil Shah.
Okay, Yusuf Adil Shah. So who built this dome? Yusuf, Ibrahim, or this Mahmud?
Yusuf, yeah.
Because he was a founder. No. The founder of Mughal dynasty was Babur, but Taj Mahal was built by Shah Jahan. So in the same way, this
Charminar.
this dome was built by the seventh ruler of the other Shah dynasty, and he was Mahmud Adil Shah. And this Mahmud Adil Shah built this dome in such a manner that if you go there and only just whispering with somebody, that whisper can be listened by the people who are standing very far away from you. It is designed in such a manner, and the walls are so, you can say, means smooth, that the sound generated by you, it keeps on reflecting. It is very close. If you have gone this Baha'i temple, Lotus Temple of Delhi, they always ask you, please don't create the noise. So the same kind of thing is, if you have a piece of paper and if you do like this, it will seem somebody has exploded the nuclear bomb. I mean, this is an exaggeration, but I'm just telling that this is one of the qualities of this dome. Okay. After one more ruler is famous, whose name is what? We have discussed about this Yusuf Shah was the founder. Okay. And this Mahmud Shah, and Mahmud Shah was responsible to construct this dome. And the last ruler, by the way, he does not come after him. He was the fifth ruler of the Adil Shah dynasty, and his name was Ibrahim Adil Shah. He was the fifth ruler. And this Ibrahim Adil Shah is known in the history for writing a very significant book that is called Kitab-e-Nawras. Kitab-e-Nawras. You can understand Nawras. It means he must be very fond of music, art and culture. And yes, you are right, because he was the only ruler of this dynasty who had 4,000 people only devoted to the music. You can say he had a sort of music band. 4,000 people under the patronage of the dynasty itself. You can say they were the government servants. And this Ibrahim Adil Shah was also fond of playing the instruments like guitar, veena, so on and so forth. Apart from this, he also wrote some of the books. By the way, Kitabe one, Norris is one of them. And he respected a lot the Hindu god and goddesses. He worshipped this Ganesha and Lakshmi. And he always wanted to establish the peace and tranquility between the Shia and Sunni present at that time and between the Hindus and Muslims. So this is the contribution of Ibrahim Adil Shah within the Adil Shahi dynasty. Other rulers were also there, but I don't want to discuss them. The last thing of my today's lecture is related to the conflict which happens between the Bahamani Empire and the Vijayanagar. But mark my words, this conflict does not come on the surface because the Vijayanagar rulers were the Hindus and these Bahmanis were the Muslims, as generally thought by the people. No, this never became the reason. The religion was never the reason between the dispute which happens between the Bahmani Sultanate and the Vijayanagar. What was the reason? The reason was related to economy. The reason was related to the fertility of the land. The reason was related to the diamond mines. The reason was related to the foreign trade, so on and so forth. The three places, those are the bone of contention between the Bahmani and the Vijayanagar, and the first one is the Raichur Doab. Raichur Doab. When you see the map of this South India, let me make it little bigger. Okay. So you will see the Tungabhadra river, and here is a Krishna river. Tungabhadra river, it goes like this and it meets here. So this one is Krishna and this is Tungabhadra. This region is known as the Raichur Doab. And this region became the bone of contention because on the eastern side of this region, the diamond mines were located. And both of them wanted to generate the hegemony over these diamond mines. Apart from this, every Doab region, whether it is Ganga Doab or any Krishna Godavari Doab or any region, they are always very, very fertile. And as you know, agriculture was one of the fundamental factors to have the livelihood. So the minerals, the fertility of the land, the diamonds, these were the reasons why they always kept on fighting with each other. But one thing interesting is that none of them developed a hegemony over the area for a longer duration. Sometimes they ruled on a certain portion, sometimes the Bahamani ruled, sometimes the Vijayanagar ruled, and this exchange kept on happening. After this Raichur Doab, when you see there is one more river that is called Godavari. Godavari is something like this. So this is the Godavari, this is the Krishna. So this region is the Krishna Godavari Doab. This was the second region or place of dispute between the Bahmani and the Vijayanagar. This was again a Doab, so naturally it would be fertile, availability of minerals. Apart from this, this portion was this portion had some ports. Those were very strategically important, as from these ports the foreign trade was happening. And you know, if any empire wants to be economically sound, then you can understand what is the significance of the foreign trade is. It has been, and it is nowadays it is seen a lot. That's why the landlocked countries, they are the most undernourished and underdeveloped one. Sudan, Bolivia. Okay, so this was the second reason for which they always kept on fighting. The third and the last is what? Marathwada. And the Marathwada region is connected to the Maharashtra and this Konkan belt basically. This Konkan. Look, as I have already told that in this Konkan, it was a fertile one, rich in natural resources. Goa was the part of this Konkan region, and every one of them wanted to grasp the Goa. As I have already told you that Goa was the port from where the export and import, mainly the import of the horses was happening. Other than this had some other significances, but the trade of horse was being done from this Goa port. And obviously it's a port, so everybody would like to develop the control over it to do the other trades. Since it is connected to the ocean, so the availability of minerals and so many significances are there if any place is connected to the coast. So that's how you can say the Bahamani Sultanate, which was founded by Alauddin Hasan Gangu, comes to an end. And after this end, the Mughal dynasty was also working very hard. So this region was finally gets subsumed or absorbed by the Mughal rulers. And as far as this Bijapur, the dome is concerned, this dynasty was absorbed by a very, you can say, not very well accepted ruler of the Mughal dynasty, as he is completely opposed to the Akbar, that was Aurangzeb. So this was a brief introduction of the Bahmani Sultanate. In our next lecture, we'll discuss something else. Namaskar.